Hey everybody, it's Lo, and welcome back to my channel, Lo Without Limits. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips to stay on track in 2021. So if you want to see that, then just keep watching. I'm sure you feel the same way when I think of 2021 being just around the corner and your reaction's just like, okay, but how? Like, I get that that's how time works, but how? It's been such a crazy, insane year. And of course, going into 2021, your New Year's resolutions are probably gonna look a little bit different, because at the start of the year is when everybody's like, yeah, I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna work out. And if you're a lot like where I am, everything's still closed. That's not really an option at all. And last January and February, I was so busy with work. I'm a freelance producer. And then finally the weekend that was gonna be my last weekend of work, that next Monday is when I was gonna be like, yes, this is great. I can finally go to the gym more often, because I've only gone a few times throughout the last couple months. Finally get back on track, feel good, and of course lockdown happened and gyms are still not open. That was quite the big shock and the big adjustment, especially mentally. But now that I'm going into 2021 and making these New Year's resolutions and kind of getting myself situated for the upcoming year, it's different because yes, things are still closed, but at the same time you're going into it completely aware that things are closed. There's no complete shock, and I'm more mentally prepared to have these New Year's resolutions, but in a different at-home way. So here are 5 tips to really kick off your new year, even in lockdown, even with gyms closed, to just do the best that you can to still have a healthy and fit new year, and to really get your year started on the right foot, especially after the holidays. While we are all still staying home, that doesn't mean that the treats are staying out of our kitchen. Let's be real. So the first one, if you're like most places and your gyms are still closed, is to find a really good at-home workout program. A lot of people have actually put out workout programs that are specifically for at-home and require little to no equipment. And I definitely recommend kind of checking them out, asking around to seeing what other people really liked, and to also finding one that works with the equipment that you personally have. Dumbbells are still super expensive and overpriced, which is ridiculous. So for me personally, I have the little resistance bands, I have long resistance bands, and I have 2 kettlebells, a 10-pound and a 25-pound one. So when I'm looking for at-home workout programs, I'm looking for things that can use those equipment or no equipment at all. Definitely adapt to what you have and find things that match what you have. And you don't have to follow these workout programs all the way through until the gyms open. You can definitely do them for a few weeks, or some of them are just like 6 to 8 weeks long, which we still have at least 6 to 8 weeks left in here, you know? So finding those and then discovering what you like, okay, I like the routine of this one. I didn't realize that I could do these workouts at home, but this one showed me that I could. And just kind of picking and choosing. So now I'm not necessarily following an at-home workout program by somebody else, but I've done a few throughout lockdown to determine, okay, like if I'm gonna do leg days, these are the exercises that I can do at home using the equipment that I have. Same for upper body. And then I also did get a suspension trainer, but I can only use that at Austin since there's nowhere to hook it in my apartment. And then I also started getting into yoga, because you don't need any equipment for that. You just need a mat. And if you don't even have a mat, just kind of like a plush carpet until you can get a mat, which those are a lot cheaper than a dumbbell. So just doing that, there's a lot of different programs even on YouTube that you can find. So just searching around and finding something that will also give you a little bit of structure, because having the structure of an at-home workout program that's 4 days a week, on Monday you're gonna do this, on this day you're gonna do this, this is how long the workout should take, so you can kind of plan your day around it, has helped me so much. And that really helped me just get back into the groove of things at the start of lockdown. Tip number 2 is to find a meal plan that works for you. And I'm not saying to schedule out every single meal, to meal prep crazy, but to just kind of have a general idea at the start of each week of what you'll be eating this week, especially while you go grocery shopping, so you only get what you need and you don't waste things by being like, oh, I think I'm gonna eat it this week, or I might have that, and then it goes bad and then you toss it, because that's super wasteful, so you don't wanna do that. And at the start, I was just kind of eating like whatever was available, and a lot of grocery stores were just out of a lot of stuff. So it's like, okay, I guess I'll have like Cheerios and eggs for most of my meals. And then I was ordering in a lot, which gets super expensive every time you're Postmating something because of all their fees. So you're doing that. And then you also don't always know what's in the food when somebody else is making it for you. So it's just so much better to always make your own food. So what I found super helpful is, even though I'm not going into an office, I'm not packing a lunch for myself every day or having something ready for breakfast in the morning. Still kind of meal prepping, like a light meal prep. And I've also been doing factor meals. So most weeks I'll get those delivered. I get 6 meals delivered to be one of my meals throughout the day. By having those meals delivered, then I kind of know, okay, like that's set, that's not gonna be wasted. I also know that they're keto because they do offer keto meals. But just having that and having like a general meal prep idea. So when you're not wasting food, you're not wasting money, and you're still eating well, and you can kind of have a general idea of, okay, if I were going to work this week, what would I be making myself? What would I have ready to go? And kind of doing that, even if you're still working from home, just to kind of have that little schedule, and also just helps you get into a routine and not snack and eat mindlessly and waste food or eat too much food without even realizing it. Tip number 3 kind of ties into that one, and it's to try not to snack. So like I said at the very start, I was just kind of eating random things, a lot of snacks, a lot of granola bars, just like whatever the grocery store really had, because it didn't have a lot of stuff to make a decent meal. And I was also just bored. I wasn't working at the time. So I was just kind of home, sitting, doing some graphic design stuff, just not having a lot of structure. And I'd be like, I'm gonna go get a snack. And it was like my only way of like moving. So I also just wasn't moving a lot, and I was just snacking and sitting, and it wasn't great. And I definitely saw that any muscle that I had from pre-lockdown life was a little softer because of all this snacking. And I thought, this is just unnecessary calories that I'm not even really paying attention to. I'm just kind of like eating a whole bag. And yes, it might just be like a whole bag of kale chips, but like that's a lot of kale chips. So definitely try not to snack. If you are gonna want to snack on something, getting healthy snacks, or making some granola or some coconut keto clusters, which I absolutely love. Or Austin and I love Boo bars like so much. They're keto, they're delicious. We absolutely love them. Sometimes we'll have those after dinner. If we want like a little sweet treat after dinner before bed, we'll have a Boo bar. So having healthy snacks, but the best way is to just not buy them. Don't bring them in. I know I was also a snacker when I was working at the office. One of the offices that I worked at like last December and January, snack game on point. The amount of Kind bars that they had available and that I was just eating, I had a temporary Kind bar addiction, and it wasn't great, especially considering I wasn't going to the gym a lot because of that job. So to just, if you don't have it, out of sight, out of mind, if you really want to snack, you can maybe pause a little bit, think, am I actually hungry to where I want a snack, or am I just bored? A lot of times for me, I'm just bored. I can drink a water and be like, oh, I'm good. Or I can just find something to take my mind off of work and take my mind off of staring at the computer doing work, and maybe just like do something else for like 10 minutes with my drink of water, and I'm not bored anymore. So to just really stop and think, do you want the snack or are you bored? And that's something that I've always struggled with. I've never really noticed it. I've always just kind of done it. I'd be sitting at my desk at work, go walk to the kitchen, get a snack. So now that I'm home and I've been noticing it more, I'm like, oh, I actually snack a lot. So I definitely noticed that at the start of quarantine, and it's definitely something that you can just pause, be a bit more mindful, be a bit more present, and think, am I really hungry? And if so, make it actual meal, or are you bored? Tip number 4 I've been all about lately, and it is to take a walk. Yes, pre-lockdown, we'd be sitting at our desk all day, but at least you'd be walking to your car, walking to the office, walking to the break room to fill up your water or to get another Kind bar to feed your addiction. You'd still be walking a little bit. And at one of my last jobs, one of my coworkers and I, around lunchtime, we'd eat, and sometimes we would eat lunch at our desk just considering our workload, but we'd be like, we're gonna take 10 minutes, go downstairs, walk around the block, around the building, and then come back up. So just moving as much as you can, because I noticed that once it was at the start and I wasn't working, I was just kind of chilling in bed. I was doing things. I wasn't like doing absolutely nothing, but I just wasn't moving that much. And I'm sure my Apple Watch was like, is this girl good? So definitely taking a walk. I know I've been talking about this a lot, especially in my video all about helping adjust to my seasonal affective disorder, but taking the walks, just the energy boost that you get, you're at least getting movement. And if you don't work out later in the day, like at least you walked, at least you did something. And it also just doing it in the morning, getting that sunshine, getting that energy, getting that movement in gives you so much more motivation, which is also definitely something that I lacked at the very start of lockdown. So going into 2021 thinking I can take a walk, if I'm not going to exercise, at least I'm going to move a little bit, at least I'm going to get some steps in, at least I'm going to go outside, because there also were some days at the very start where I didn't go outside. Maybe I went outside to take my trash out, maybe. But I was just kind of like inside, and then Austin would FaceTime me and even be like, did you even go outside today? And I would realize like, oh, that's why I've been feeling kind of down. Because yes, we're all feeling down, but at the same time, like, not going outside is not good. So definitely go outside, take a walk, get that movement in. If you don't do anything else, take a walk. Just even a 10-minute walk, especially after you eat, to help you digest and just get everything going. Take a walk. Such a big walker now. I feel like an 80-year-old woman, but I absolutely love it. And tip number 5 is to drink water. I know it sounds just like, duh, of course everybody needs to drink water, but realistically, we tend to forget a lot. But by having your water with you and to know like, okay, for me, I have a 32-ounce Hydro Flask. If I at least drink 3, ideally 4 a day, but just to stay hydrated, especially in the winter time when yes, it's cooler out, which also makes us tend to forget, versus in the summer, it's hot. You always kind of jump for water. In the winter, it's cooler, so you don't really think about it all the time, but it's also drier out, so you definitely need that water just to rehydrate you, to feel good, to really just get your brain working well, to get your skin looking nice. Definitely drink water. And I feel like I did do this more working because, again, to get me away from staring at my computer at my desk, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the break room, fill up my water bottle, just to kind of take me away from work for like 5 seconds. And then being home now, I just never really thought about it. So definitely drink more water. Try to get like 2 Hydro Flasks. Try to get like 64 ounces. I think that's like the 8 cups of 8 ounces, 64. So aim for that. Obviously more is better, but it's just so helpful and it just really helps your brain be focused. It helps you just think better. And it also, like, without realizing it, puts you in a better mood. You also make better decisions because by drinking water, you're maybe not drinking something that's sugary, which would be messing with your blood sugar. And it will also help you realize like, oh, I'm not hungry, I'm just thirsty. So a lot of times we confuse hunger and thirst. So just to drink more water and to just really like be mindful of how you're feeling and getting your water in and staying nice and hydrated and healthy. And lastly, a bonus tip that isn't about how you physically look or your external health, which is what a lot of New Year's resolutions are about. It's always, I wanna get fit, I wanna lose this amount of weight. It's always something physical, but a lot of times we don't stop and think about the mental New Year's resolutions that we should make, our mental health. And now more than ever, that is so, so, so important. And I just urge you guys to, even in lockdown, reach out to your friends, because if you don't reach out to them, they might be in the same situation and they don't think that they can reach out to you. So reach out first, to not hide how you're feeling, because we all feel the same way. Even if you think everything's great, not much has changed in my life, I'm still working, I'm still whatever, there's that underlying stress that we just don't consciously realize of, like, the whole world has been in lockdown. This has just been such an insane year that just everybody's life took a huge 180 at the start, and it has barely gone back to normal. Who knows when it really will? It could still be like at least another 6 months. It's just nobody really knows. And a lot of it at the very start was a lot of anxiety and just a lot of what's happening. And now that we've all kind of settled into this weird lockdown life, we've kind of forgotten about how are you feeling? Like, how has this affected you? And I definitely urge you to reach out and just talk to friends and family, just still be connected. And if you really, really need help, talk to a therapist. I urge you to find somebody that you can speak to. And I know a lot of times the barrier between you and a therapist is the cost, but there are so many different online virtual therapy things now, like BetterHelp and Talkspace, and a lot of them will fit your different budgets. So I definitely urge you to look into that, because yes, New Year's resolutions are all about how you look and how you feel and taking on the new year, but we also really need to pause now more than ever and think about how is your mental health going into the new year. There you have it. Those are my 5 tips to take on 2021. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below what your New Year's tips are and what you want to see more of on my channel. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe. I upload a new video every Wednesday. So until the next one, thanks for watching.